Hello folks, it is Friday and it's been a long week. It's been one of them weeks where I've been waiting for it to be over because I've been going at it like the clappers in terms of work all week. So, we're finally at the end of it. Hopefully you are too, and if you're not, then thank you for helping us relax this weekend by staying in work and making sure that the world goes around whilst we're all having a break. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below, the Patreon button is also down below. If you want to be involved in our prize draw, which is now 2 days away, it is on Sunday, and the prize draw is for £50 worth of free models from Composite Games, our lovely partners over there. If you are going to get any models, make sure you get it from them, and use the promo code Northern Exile down below to get yourself 5% off of their stock at checkout. And a Dark Angels Deathwing box set, the Deathwing Terminator box set, that is available to you to win on Sunday. So, all you need to do is be a patron at any level, or be a member of the channel. Either way, you are financially helping out the channel, you are doing me a huge solid, and I love you long time, right? Alright, cool. Moving on. Hobby Nightmares time. R. Todd says, as in R, the letter R, Todd, not a Scouse. R. Todd, no, R. Todd. Okay, cool. Hi, North. I hope you have been good. Yeah, I've been good, yeah, thank you. Love your stuff, by the way, and you're awesome to listen to while I paint these bikes while listening to some Hobby Nightmares. Cheers, man. One time, relatively recently, I was playing a game against the guy in the club I go to. Let's call him Harry. And on the Discord, the night before, he said he was feeling a little bit ill and tired, so he might not come in. That's fair enough, at least he's letting you know. That sounds like depression to me. Like, immediately that sounds like depression. Doesn't sound like he's ill. Or anxiety, one of the two. The next day, he was there, and we got into a 1,000-point game. Blood Angels versus Leagues of Votan. When I say recently, it was my second to last game before 10th. Harry, again, said before we started that he was still feeling quite bad, so he might be a little bit slow or sluggish. That's fine. I thought the game was going to take a bit longer, but we did have the spare time, so it wouldn't make any difference, really. Now, Harry is not the best at the game, and people have told me that he cheats, but I haven't experienced that myself, so I can't bring him up on that. Anyways, about an hour and a half into the game, I'm doing Space Marine things, bolt of fire and all that, and he has some saving throws to make. I say, 2 saves at -1 AP. Okay. A faint snoring noise occurs. Yeah, my guy fell asleep during the game. I repeat myself a bit louder, and he wakes up, apologises for falling asleep, and repeats he was really tired. I should have brought him up on this, but I'm new to the hobby. My Marines were unpainted, and I am told formidable and boring to go up against. I am told I am formidable and boring to go up against. Maybe Harry was bored as well, and decreased brain activity let him sleep. I'm not sure. Harry is also again, higgledy-piggledy writing a little bit. Harry is also in the position where he is in charge of the club. I think he owns it, matter of fact. He has some sort of mental disability, I think. I think it's autism and possibly a speech thing to go along with it. Well, be very careful about diagnosing people. Alright? I jump on here and I say what I suspect, because I don't know these people, right? And they're not going to find out. Well, hopefully they don't find out anyway. So yeah, just be very careful about people in your life just putting a label on them. I am very confrontational to start with. Sorry, I am not very confrontational to start with. I want to do away with myself from ones I've had in the past. Right, so you don't like confrontations. Fair enough, that's no problem. I think we're all in the same boat, to be honest with you. None of us like confrontation. If you like confrontation, you need therapy. And all those other things lead me to say that it's fine, let's just play the game. I think that he has those excuses, but even then, I don't think it's hard to just say, I'm really tired, I don't think I'm up for a game right now, then sort of go and sit and have a doze. Well, to be fair, mate, some people are anxious about different things. I am anxious about the same things that Harry is anxious about. I don't want to let people down. I have done videos in the past that have been, lackluster, not that great, because I feel like I have to, or I'm going to let people down. I think it's a big I get told this a lot, like when I'm talking to peers on YouTube, and they say, yeah, you're in a bad position because whilst they do law or a painting video, people aren't relying on their videos for like a mental health kick or for like a help with their mental health issues. So they don't feel like they're letting people down if they don't post a video on any given day, you know? Whereas I do. But there are some times where I should have just said no. There are some times where I should have just gone, no, I'm not doing one today. I'm too tired. I've not done one, and it would have been a better video for it, because it's better to have no video than a bad video, right? Anyway. I had also recently started at the time, so maybe he didn't want to leave a bad impression of the hobby on me. I'm 13, and I know it's not... You're 13? I take all that back about how you're writing, dude. Well done. This is really well written for a 13-year-old. I thought you were like in your 30s, and I was like, wow, yeah, this is a bit all over the place. But for a 13-year-old, my God, this is great. I'm 13, and I know it's not hard to do that to somebody as young as myself. I've missed a couple of games due to things that have come up, and I know that must be annoying, so maybe he just didn't want to miss our one. Anyway, thanks for reading this, and I hope you have an absolutely splendid rest of your week. You're awesome. Bye. Yeah, no worries, man. And not all of my stories are for you. I will say that. So if you're 13 and you see a title that maybe you shouldn't be getting involved with, then don't get involved with it, alright? But good luck to you, and good luck in school. Hope you're doing really well. If you are underage, by the way, I know this guy was fine, you know, just sending me an email. If you are underage, I'd rather you didn't contact me, okay? From you know, this point forward, I just don't want it. I just don't want to be exchanging emails with people who aren't of age. 18 plus, please. You know, it is what it is. You got to cover all your bases. As a teacher, I'm well aware of the pitfalls. Right? You never, ever exchange private correspondence with somebody who's not 18. Ever. Do not do it. Do not do it. Even if you know it's completely innocent, don't do it. Just say why and back off and go away again. Right? When 5 years time, my friend, right? Email me, no problem. But for now, I've read that out, so hope you got some advice from there. Hope you had a good time. Anyway, Commodore says it's Commodore's second part, ladies and gentlemen. I did say I'd do it on Friday, so here it is. By the way, Commodore, I have had a lovely email from somebody who wanted to help you out with your model problem. So email me, let me know if you want to be put in touch with him, and I can get those models to you, or can get whatever he's offering to you. All right. So just let me know, and I will put you in touch with each other. I haven't emailed him back yet, so I wanted to talk to you first, and I thought this would be quite a neat way to do it. So there you go. Email me. Commodore says, story number 2, girlfriend. Ooh. All right. I can sense a lot of people are going to be switching off this video. But, again, I did say I would do it in the next video, and here it is. So, Commodore says, this part is going to be relatively hard to write because I genuinely don't know if I want the hard truth on this one, but here I go. I am currently in a relationship with an amazing girl. I have been with her for about 6 years now, and we are currently living together east of Los Angeles, where we moved together in order for her to go to medical school. She is absolutely the best in a lot of ways. She cooks, has a shared sense of humour with me, she takes care of me, is Jewish like me. Yes, a Jewish doctor, how original. I know that's what some of you are thinking. We have similar values, etc. Literally, almost a whole laundry list of pros. Alright, well, again, the girl I was with in the States was very much like this. Laundry list of good things. It's just the bad things, well, there's lots of videos on that. The main problem I have is that she shares practically no interests with me, and she wasn't my number one pick attractiveness-wise. Ooh. You see, I've always had confidence issues. I was bullied a lot growing up, and this led me to sort of closing myself off emotionally to the world. At around this time, starting at around 8 or so, I started to taking care of my mum a lot. My mother had MS, which essentially caused her to slowly become paralysed. Oh my God. So when I was young, I'd have to do things like carry her to the toilet, take her food to her bed, and go out grocery shopping with her. The more extreme cases had me carrying her to the bathtub in order to wash blood off of her head a few times, since she'd sometimes fall from her wheelchair even when she was using a cane, and she'd break her head open. My theory is that this gave me a bit of a maternal or paternal instinct, maybe, I don't know. Regardless, I was certainly much more emotionally mature than most kids my age. What this all boiled down to, my weird maturity and lack of self-confidence, was that I didn't get on with any girls. That's not to say girls didn't like me. I very frustratingly found out later that a lot of girls I liked in high school liked me back. I was just too much of an idiot and a bit of a coward to have noticed and done something about it, respectively. Okay. Alright. Never judge yourself when you're younger. I won't say that. I won't say that. In college, I wanted to force myself to get better with women, so I joined a fraternity. Long story short, this didn't fix my body confidence issues, and as a result, I barely kissed a couple of girls, and I had to be blackout drunk to even do that. During this stage of my life is when my girlfriend came in. I didn't find her very attractive in all honesty, but she basically kept pushing with me. We were great friends. We kind of clicked while talking. I just didn't think she was my type physically. Slowly, I spent more and more time with her, mainly showing her movies. She had watched zero movies growing up, and I had to introduce her to some of my main interests. Eventually, she and I became a thing, and I was even able to kiss her sober. And later, I lost my virginity to her. We then did long distance, as I had moved states right at this time to live with my parents. After over a year and a half of doing long distance, we'd visit each other, at least. She moved in with me, into the house I bought. At first, things were great for us. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna say this. This is an abnormal relationship. Alright? Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's wrong at all. It just means it's not normal. Guys normally operate on looks first. It's just what we do. Like we do looks first. We're attracted to you, hooray, and then things come after that, right? Normally, that's how things normally work. You've gone the opposite way, and I think it is. Yeah, there is something in there to do with your confidence problems. What's happened here, Commodore? What's happened here is a girl has seen you and thought, fucking yes, please. That'll do very nicely, thank you very much. And has put the work in. That's what she's done. She's put the work in. The other girls who were just kissing and barely doing that, they were hotties. They didn't need to put the work in with you. You needed to put the work in with them. That's just the way that the world crumbles, right? And because you didn't do that, you didn't end up with one of them. But you have ended up with a very loyal, hard-working, good girl. And I'm telling you now, you've won the fucking lottery, my friend. As long as she's not butt ugly, if you are able to, you know, have sex with her, kiss her, and be affectionate with her all the time because you just want to do that with her, you've hit the fucking jackpot, dude. Even if she's not as hot as some of the women you've been with before, you've hit the jackpot. You're doing well. Anyway. Slowly, though, I started to notice more and more that she seldom took interest in things I was interested in, whereas I regularly took interest in hers to make her happy. I eventually communicated this to her, and she understood why it made me upset. She hadn't really noticed it. She vowed to do better about it. I showed her a YouTube video every few car rides that she'd begrudgingly watch. But that's about it. I'd bring it up again a few months later when she'd ask what was wrong or something, and she'd say she would try to be better. The problem is that I kind of hate that I have to force her to take interest in my things when she sometimes does so. It also just feels like sort of fake and disingenuous. She'll usually only do it because she'll notice I am upset or in a down mood. I'll be playing Total War Warhammer, for example, and she'll try to be interested, leaning over to say things like, "Ooh, they're scary," or "What are those little guys? Oh my god. Oh my god. Just tell her to stop. Please stop." It's the worst thing. It's the fucking worst thing. Like, I've had exes who are just not into Warhammer, right? They're not into it. And when they've tried to be nice, dude, women are dorks, right? Do you know why they're dorks? Because they've never, ever, ever had to pull somebody, to go out and seduce somebody. They've never had to do that. Men have to scrape and claw for everything they ever get, because we're not only competing with every other man out there, because we're really disposable, right? As you can tell by the modern world, we're just disposable. Not only are we competing against them, now we're competing against diversity hires, right? Who aren't anywhere near as qualified as we are most of the time. We are made to fight and scrape for our share. We're not giving it. We have to go in there like fucking hyenas and fight for it. Fight for scraps. Right? Men who do this have the skills to seduce. They have the skills to go up to a woman and fake interest in her things until they're really actually quite interested in them. I did this with the fucking Kardashians. I wasn't interested at all. But you know what, I'm going to give this a chance with you. It means a lot to you. I'm going to give this a chance. And in the end, I thought, wow, I'm kind of addicted to this drama. And I put it in a little place in my head and said, you know what, I can enjoy that on a level I'm comfortable with. I did it with 90 Day Fiancé. Like, an ex of mine loved 90 Day Fiancé. I got involved in that. And in the end, I kind of enjoyed it, right? Because I was being honest about it, because I had to be. Right? I had to, at the start, I was trying to fool her into thinking that I wanted to do this, because there's something I wanted to do for her. And in the end, I actually did enjoy it. You know, go figure. But at the same time, men are built to do that. We're built to acquiesce and to charm and to seduce and to cajole and to do all of those things because we have to, or we don't get anywhere in life. And the guys who can't do that, some of them end up on Hobby Nightmares, not going to lie. Some of them end up emailing me about they can't find women or that they can't talk to people, right? Those are the guys who can't do that. And normally those guys fall into a tech job where it's not important to have social skills. Most other guys have to have these skills or they fail in life. Okay? Women don't have to have these skills. I'm just going to come out and say that. Women don't have to have them. You just don't, right? If you walk into any bar, you can get any man you want. If you're anywhere near decent looking, you can go into a bar and say, who wants to fuck? There'll be 89 hands raised in the air. I want to. I'll do it right here. I'll do it in front of everybody. I don't care, right? Okay? Of course, you need to go to business meetings and interviews like the rest of us, but I'm telling you now, you're not competing against more people than men. If you're a woman and you go for a job in this modern world, you're competing against other women, other diversity hires. You're not competing against the men. You're not. You're not competing against the men. I know people who own companies. They will tell you. Go, if you know a CEO, go and ask them. If you've got a woman who's a 9 out of 10 and a guy who's a 10 out of 10, who do you hire? For optics, you hire the woman. That's just what they do. You're not competing against guys. You're competing against other people on that sphere. It's shocking, I know. It's not nice. But that's the world we live in. It shouldn't be. It should be equal. It should be a meritocracy. If you're the best at a job, you should get that job. And if you're not the best, we should get you training so you can become the best. There should be equal opportunity, right? Equal opportunity for everybody gets an opportunity to apply, right? You don't get equality of outcome, though, because you need to be trained. You need to know what you're doing, in my opinion. I'm saying this as a teacher. I lost out dozens of jobs that I was overqualified for to a woman or a diversity hire. And the diversity hire, when I was working in America, I lost out 3 times to diversity hires for the same school. And you know what? Not one of them turned up to the job. The first day they were there, they were meant to be there, none of them turned up. That's a whole class of 35 students left in the lurch without a teacher. Because the person was not qualified. Just wasn't qualified. They were a diversity hire for optics. That's how ingrained, that's how ridiculous it's gotten. So if you're one of those people, you don't need to develop these skills to fight and claw for your share. You don't. You've never had to. You've never had to fight to seduce somebody. You've never had to fight to take somebody home. You've never had to fight to get into a relationship with somebody. And you've never had to fight to get a job. It just is. It's what it is. Struggle's everywhere. I understand that. Struggle is everywhere. And there will be exceptions to the rule. of course, but they only prove the rule. That's all they do. Okay? A dude, I don't care whether you're black, white, whatever, a dude in this world, right, is fucked. You need to develop your skills. I'm not going to say you're even going against diversity hires if you're a woman, right? Because you're the safe bet. If you go into a teaching job, right, and you're a woman, you're getting that job. If you go in with 9 dudes, don't care what colour they are, where they come from, if you go in there with 9 dudes and you're a 7 out of 10, and all the dudes are a 10 out of 10, you're getting the teaching job. You're getting a teaching job. It's seen as a woman's profession. It's just what you do. You're there. You're sort of, if you're a nurse, again, you're getting the job. Right? All of these you've never. This is what I'm saying. Right? Even in STEM and things like that, if you're a woman, they will hire you. They will hire you because it makes them look fantastic to hire you. Okay? This is what I mean. Men have to fight for these things. Men have to develop these skills, or we go nowhere, because we're fighting against everybody for everything. Everybody. In this country, even in the UK, in this country, if you're a woman, you can get therapy at the drop of a hat if you're a woman. If you're a man, not so much. You have to fight and ask and badger and go to them all the time. You need to turn up to their offices to demand therapy. A woman just walks in, right? I'm involved in these worlds. I have to be. I was a teacher in public, and now I'm a private tutor, and I deal with kids who need to go to therapy. I deal with guys who need to go to therapy, who are actually in university. It's much easier for my female clients, which I have at university, to get therapy. I need to make 1 phone call or 1 email. Done. Men, they're on a fucking waiting list. Years long waiting lists. Dude, I'm being honest with you, if you're a woman, like, you're not competing against these guys for jobs. You're not. Because if you were, you wouldn't get them. Sorry, because you're so outnumbered, there would be, more guys getting these jobs than there would be women. You're not competing against dudes for jobs. You're not competing against dudes for mating partners. You're not competing against dudes for... You're not in our world. You're not in our world. And resentful men will tell you that you're living life on easy mode. I don't agree with that, because everybody has to deal. Everybody has really, really shitty parts about their lives that they need to deal with. So I don't quite agree with that. But I do agree with the fact that, listen, you're not competing with us. You're not in our world. You're just not, right? We have to develop skills that you only dream of. A man can run rings around a woman in seduction and in things like that, in being social skills. A man just runs rings around them because they've had to develop those skills. By the way, it's natural too, because we're the ones who have to approach you, so society tells us. So we're the ones who have to have those skills. We have to beat off the other men to get to you first. I know this put me on a big tangent, but I needed to explain how I feel about this, right? Women are bad at this, and this is why she says, "Ooh, they're scary," or "Oh, who are those little guys?" That's dorky, and it's stupid, and it makes the person playing Warhammer feel like a dickhead. It's patronising, and they don't even realise why. Why? Because they're shit at seduction, guys. They've never had to do this before. What, Commodore, what you're asking her to do, she's never had to do before. She's a woman. She's never had to seduce anybody before. She's never had to, like, acquiesce to somebody's needs before in a relationship like this. She's never actually had to get in there and go, hey, oh, I need to show interest in what he likes, or he's going to dump me. No one's ever done that to her before. She doesn't have those skills. So you have to be patient and understand. It's dorky, it's stupid, but she doesn't have those skills. Like, a multitude of my exes have done this. American Girl did this. She would feign interest in what I was interested in, and would just be like, oh, what's that? Oh, and I'd be like, listen, you're ruining this for me, go away. I take it back, I don't want you involved, go away, right? And she'd be like, okay, and she'd love it, like, okay, I didn't want to be involved in that, that's cool, And then there was like role-playing games which she loved and she got into and she stayed into because she naturally wanted to be into it, and she didn't make noises like, oh, who are those little guys? You know, she didn't make noises like that because she loved Dragon Age and Mass Effect and Dungeons and Dragons and Black Coats and all these other things that I got her into. She loved, and she still talks about them even now when we exchange messages. She always talks about them. She's like, oh, I love those, right? And her enthusiasm was real. It was real. It was all there. When it's not real, just to tell them to not bother. Don't bother. You don't have the skills to fake it. I'm sorry. I do. I'm a man. I have the skills to fake it. Just as you can fake orgasms, right? A man can fake interest. Women fake orgasms. Men can't really. Men can fake interest. Women can't. A woman cannot fake interest in what you're interested in. She can't. A man can, because he's had to develop those skills. You're not living the same lives as us, ladies. You're not. You're not developing the same skills. You're not going up against the same challenges as we are. You're not. I'm not saying ours are worse than yours. Have you noticed that? All throughout this, I've not said ours are worse than yours. I'm saying they're not the same. We have to develop different skills. Right? Okay. She's not mean. She is trying to be sweet, but it's like way too much. At one point, she even decided to start painting her own minis with me, picking up some demonettes of Slanesh since she thought they looked badass. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But that only lasted a week. At this point, I don't know what to do, honestly. Am I just being shallow and an idiot, not realising how lucky I am to be with her? You've talked on the channel before about not just being with one person and all that, and sometimes I wonder what it might have been like with other women, as even as she has been with other guys. Okay. Although there's research that shows the more partners you have before marriage, the more likely you are to be unhappy in a marriage too. I try to be logical about my feelings in future. Like, I can't tell if I genuinely want to be with another woman or not, or if it's just the social pressure of modern hookup culture and whatnot. No. Alright, so here is a... I'm going to jump on this now before I forget. Alright, here's the thing. Hookup culture has done two things. One, it's ruined women, right? We now have a generation of highly damaged, emotionally traumatized women who have been used and thrown away. Right, that's number one. And number two, it's convinced men that women should be able to do this as well. They shouldn't. Okay? Now, let me explain that. Men are built for multiple partners. Just go and look up whatever study you want, whatever philosophical discussion you want. Men are built to fuck around. It's what we're built to do. We're built to make sure that we are putting our genetic material in as many vaginas as possible. That's just what we're built for. That's it. Scientific fact. I literally shouldn't have to sit here quoting evolution at people. I shouldn't. But here I am, right? The modern world's gone mad. Men are built for this. We are built for it. We are not built for monogamy. We're not. We're not. Which is why a lot of the most happy relationships I've known, especially people who are older than me, like in their 40s or 50s, they have marriages where the woman's quite happy to be with the guy, and the guy adores the woman. He adores his wife, right? But he gets his dick sucked elsewhere, right? He goes out with other women, like he goes and he doesn't take them out on full-on dates. He just goes out, and if he meets somebody, he takes them to a hotel somewhere, bangs the shit out of them, gets dressed, gets clean, goes back to his wife, right? Uses protection, all that, goes back to his wife. Treats her like a princess, treats her like a queen. Whenever she needs it, he gives it to her as well. Because that's his queen. That's his one and only, right? If she needs something, she has it before anyone else. That's where Bay comes from, right? You are before anyone else. Literally before anyone else. They co-opted that thing. That's a pimp saying. That's what people don't... That's how stupid people are. That's a pimp saying. It's not a woman empowering... You know all these memes that say Bay this, Bay that. It's a pimp saying. It's got nothing to do with women. At all. Even though they use it most. Bay is literally a pimp going, that's my girl. Right? I've got all these others, but that's my queen. That's the one. I will never leave her. I will never leave her. And you know what, girls? It's better if your man likes you than if he loves you. If he loves you, all these other emotions start coming in, and some of them are quite toxic and can lead to like possession and things like that. You know, it's better than it's better if he loves you, but he likes you more. He likes you as a person, as a partner in chief, right? He's the general, you're his top lieutenant. You're his top woman, you're his top person. You're there, and he'll never leave you. If you act that way around a guy, and you're confident enough to go, do you know what? I don't care where you get your dick sucked. Just, you know, as long as I get it too, and we have a lovely life together, that guy's never fucking leaving you. Good luck getting rid of that guy. You will have to literally throw him out your house. He's never leaving. He's never leaving. Okay? Because high quality men can go out and get other women if they want to. And they will always have the urge to. And good looking men who have never... This is what happens, Commodore, when good looking men don't get it out of their system when they're younger. This is what happens. This is what happens. You get involved in a relationship and you go, oh my god, oh my fucking god, is this it? Am I stuck in this for the rest of my life? No. As much as I feel sorry for your woman, because she's clearly put work into you, she's clearly doing her bit, right? That feeling, I'm afraid, is not going to leave. It's not going to go away. In fact, it'll just get worse as you get older. You need to make an honest assessment with yourself. Okay. Can you live with yourself in this relationship if you go and get some strange and you come back to her and you don't split up with her, you just go and get some strange. You get it out of your system and you come back. Can you live with that? If the answer is I don't know, don't do it. Don't do it. Not worth it, right? Especially if she's a good woman and she's helping you out and she's doing all these really cool things. And at the end of the day, dude, she is trying. Like, when you ask her to like show interest in your shit, number one, don't be a bitch about that. I don't give a shit if my woman likes Warhammer or not. Neither should you. Get on with your life, right? But she is trying. She's going out of her way to try all of these things, and that deserves recognition here. The thing is, that's an emotion. That is an emotional argument. The emotional argument here, guys, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, don't tell him to do that. No. And the emotional argument here is to say, no, you need to stay with her. You need to make sure that she's okay. She's doing all these things for you, blah, 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 right? That's emotion. You know what logic says? Logic says, I am a good-looking young man. I've not slept around. My balls are about to explode. I need to go find some strange, some hottie to literally ruin. I'm going to go find myself a hottie. I'm going to get her a good hotel. I'm going to ruin her. And then I'm going to come back to my wife. That's the logical thing to do here. Right? There's emotion and there's logic. Men operate on logic. Women operate on emotion for the most part. Right? So this is what I'm saying. You need to know. I'm not going to make that decision for you. I'm not going to give you advice either way. Because I don't know. It would be irresponsible of me to do that. It would be irresponsible of me to sit here and give you advice saying you should do this. Because I don't know the situation as much as I would like. But in all honesty, man, she seems like a good woman, and if the thought of hurting her makes you feel physically ill, don't do it. Do not do it, right? And this is me. Listen, I've had my fill when I was younger, and even the past, all my life, man, all my life, I've had my fill. I've been around the block, been with women, you know, all shapes, all sizes, all looks. You know, I've had ugly girls who have just had a really good personality, and I've had stunners who I take home, and my male relatives are like, how the fuck did you do that, right? I've had both ends of the scale, right? And even now, like, I'm dating somebody right now, and she's amazing. She's so cool, man. She's just the coolest girl. She's absolutely... I'm besotted with her. I really am. I really am. I honestly think about her all the time in a healthy way. Like, I can't wait to spend time with her because I like her. I think I do love her, but I like her first. I think she's cool first. That's such a healthy place to be in. She's cool, man. Right? She's cool. But I still have the urge. I'm fully sated. And I still have the urge for strange. I still have the urge to go out there and talk to women and take them home. And I still have that urge. It's still there. It doesn't leave. And that's me. Fully sated, fully happy, doesn't need it, you know? And the only way I beat it is I go and get laid by my missus or I jerk off. And straight afterwards I think, thank God I didn't go out and try and do that. Right? But that's me. I'm sated and I'm in a really happy relationship, and the thought of hurting this girl makes me feel physically ill. That's what stops me. But I am concerned that in 10, 15 years, I'm a guy. I'll be 45, 50, and I'll be working out still, and guys age like a fine wine. If you put effort into yourself, you'll get more laid at 50 than you ever did in your 20s. Because if you're looking good, and you've earned some money, and you've got a nice suit on, dude, you're swimming in it. Of all ages. Am I really going to be? I'm not going to say to myself, I'm always going to be faithful, because I don't know whether I will be. There may come a time in 10, 15 years where some 20-year-old hottie is just like, there. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, guys are... There was this joke by a guy called Patrice O'Neill back in the day. And he said, women are generally quite loyal. Generally quite loyal, you know? You can go up to a woman and you can say, hey, I know you've got a husband and kids, right? But I've got Brad Pitt here when he's 25... You know, when he's about to do Troy, you know, ripped. I've got Brad Pitt here. You can have one night with him in a hotel of your choosing, and nobody will ever find out. Ever. The universe guarantees nobody ever finds out. You'll know, though, of course, but nobody will ever find out. You know what she'll do? She'll go, well, you know, I'd love to do that, you know, I'm not going to lie, that'd be amazing, but, like, I've got my husband, and I love him, and you know, we've got kids and stuff, and I just don't think it'd be the right thing, and, you know, of course, you do get, like, bitches ain't loyal, you do get a lot of people like that, but if she's married to you, and she's, you know, and she's settled down, and you're a good man, and things are going well, she can, no, I'm good, you know, I'm fine, I can always fantasize about it, ha ha ha, and that's it, right? Cool. If you take that husband in that relationship and you go, hey dude, do you see that woman passed out, sick behind the dumpster? Yeah? Yeah. You know what I'm saying, right? Now, as long as it's consensual, he'll go, yeah, cool, I'll do it, yeah, fine. If it's available, if it's free, I'll go in there, that's fine, right? Now that is obviously a exaggeration because it's a joke. Right? It's an exaggeration because it's a joke. But it still hits on the same themes I'm talking about. If I'm getting these urges now, dude, what are you going to be like in 5, 6, 7 years with this woman? And you have to remember as well, you know, marriages naturally can get quite stale in terms of being with somebody all the time. You know, the same woman again in your bed. It's the same one doing the same shit you were doing 10 years ago, right? Yeah. Men aren't built for that, dude. Men are not built for that. And the guys who stay in it are normally... Look, every dude who's happy in a marriage that I know has fucked around at some point. I'm just going to put it out there. And ladies, if you don't think your man has, and he's really happy with you and you've been with him for 10 years plus, chances are, right? Just, he's got some strange at some point. Chances, I'm just saying, chances are, never, if you're a dude, right, your natural mode is multiple women. That's your natural mode. Nature built you for multiple women. So if you end up doing that, as long as you're respectful, and it's going to be controversial I say this, as long as you're respectful, and you keep it away from your woman, you never let the two mix. You never disrespect it like that, ever. You never, ever, ever let the two mix. As long as you keep it that way. Right? And if you can, be honest. If you just started seeing a girl, say, listen, I've got other girls. Yeah? I've got other girls. Oh, well, I don't want to be with a guy with multiple girls. Okay, bye. See you then. You know, the amount of times I've said that to a girl and she stuck around because you were honest. It was, because she thinks, mainly because she thinks she can change you when she can't, right? But, like, you don't tell her that, right? But she, you know, they will stick around. Normally, they stick around because you're being honest. And that's a really high value thing to do. To have the confidence to say, listen, I've got multiple women, you're one of them. That just is what it is. Oh, are you gonna? Is that gonna change? No. 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 Unless you're good enough that I put a ring on it. No. No. Nah. Right. And even then, it'll probably be temporary. Like, I'll put a ring on it. I will get married and stuff. But in a few years, you know, I'll make sure you're fine. I'll make sure you're taken care of. I'll make sure that you're the first and only all the time. The one who gets my time. The one who gets my resources. But there will be every now and again when I go out and get something strange. You know? And I get tested, and I wear protection and do all that sort of stuff, but there will be some times when I go out and get something strange. Just is what it is, right? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's what high-value men do. I know a lot of them. That's what they do. That's what they do. And you know what? Women put up with it. Because they know you're high value. You can go and get it wherever you want. Or, and even if you can't, and you know that, you need to put that out there. You need to put that energy out there. Of course I can. Of course I can. Whenever I want. You got to get another one whenever I want. Because technically you can. Technically, there will be a woman out there who will be for you, right? Doesn't matter what you look like, who you are. You can go out and get another one, no problem. You got to put that energy out there, and eventually, you'll be in a position where you can be like, well, hang on, you know, I'm going to do what I want. You know, I'm paying for everything. I'm doing everything. There are definite exceptions to the rule. Definite. You know, women who earn more than men, things like that, right? Definitely. But most of the happy dudes I know who are in happy marriages that have gone on for 20 years plus have slept around at some point. Sometimes the wife knows, sometimes they don't. But they have done something with another girl at some point. So just to get it out of the system. You know, a mate of mine calls it the purge. Like every 5 years, he will have what he calls the purge. He just goes away. He just goes, I'm going on a lad's holiday. And she goes, okay. And he goes on a lad's holiday somewhere, to Tenerife or to you know, wherever. He'll go somewhere. Czech Republic is one thing. He goes to Prague all the time. Like a hell of a lot of the time. He'll go to Prague. He'll get laid by several supermodel looking chicks. And he'll come home. And he treats her like a queen all the time. She never wants for anything. They're completely besotted with each other. Right? He literally, she's his like be all end all woman, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want strange. And every 5 years or so, he just goes, right, I'm going, and he'll go away for a week and come back empty balls and go, oh, like, all right, I love you. Let's carry on. And yeah, she's fine. She just gets on with it. She's fine. Yeah, cool. You know, is what it is. Is it the same the other way around? Can a woman go and do it with them? Well, go and do that. I think so. Like if you say if it's totally above board, different people, different strokes. I wouldn't be with a woman like that, but it doesn't mean you can't be, right? So different people, different strokes. If a woman wants to go and get some strange, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that if she wants to, and you're allowing her to do that, as long as it's the same both ways. The problem is, as a man, you're high value. If you can go out and get multiple women, you're high value because you can go and get multiple women. If you're a woman, being with multiple guys doesn't make you high value. It makes you less than high value. It makes you low value. That's because you can give it away, right? Any guy out there will want to fuck you if you're half decent looking. You can give it away easily. You can go and get it easily. It's not easy for a man to go and get it. That's why him doing it makes him high value. I know it's a double standard. I know it's not fair, but life isn't fair. Fucking get used to it, right? So hopefully, Commodore, that's helped you. I hope it really has. You're in a very strong predicament there, man, which is why I spent so much time on it. That is a shitty predicament to be in, because that woman sounds like she's cool. You know, she tries. She is trying. And you know, if you feel like hurting her makes you feel physically ill, it's not worth doing it, dude. But you do need to sit down and have a proper think. Is this the woman you really want to be with for the rest of your life? If you know at some point you're going to cheat and you're going to break her into a million pieces. There are women out there who can deal with this shit. There are women out there who will be with you, and when you want something strange, they won't even ask. They'll just go, okay, you go on a guy's holiday, I'll be here when you get back. They won't even ask. Right? There are women out there who will do that. As long as you put out top quality into the world and you treat her amazingly well, they'll want to stay in the Matrix. I've said that to women before. I've said, look, if you like me, stay in the Matrix. Don't take the red pill. If you take the red pill, you're going to find shit you don't like. If you like spending time with me, stay in the Matrix. That's it. Right? Unless it's time for you to become... I'm Morpheus here, right? If it's your time to leave the Matrix, I will come and get you. Because you're now the only girl I want to be with. But if we're just dating, fucking hell, dude, stay in the Matrix. Right? Don't snoop. Don't follow me. I've had girls do that before. Don't follow me to see where I'm going. We're not exclusive, right? Yeah. Anyway. So, that's what I would do, dude. I would seriously look into your situation and examine if this is the girl you want to be with. And if you have any doubt at all, and you think you're going to cheat on her, and it might break her in half mentally, you need to leave. You need to go. Right? You just need to go. Because it's not fair. There are women out there who will put up with this and will be able to stand up to the heat. There are loads out there who will put up with this and be able to stand up to the heat. As long as you can prove to them that you're a high-value dude and you are literally the be-all and end-all for them, they will put up with it. They will go along with it. Right? There are loads more women who won't. Like, there are loads more who won't. And if this is one of those women, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, if you're in a healthy relationship and you're happy and you've never felt that urge, I applaud you. Very well done to you, sir. You are not a normal man. You're just not normal, right? Normal men walk past the hole in the wall and go, well, what would happen if I stuck my dick in there, right? That's just what normal men do. We're animals, that's what we do. We're not built for monogamy. And the modern world has forced us into being in monogamy, and we don't belong here. We don't belong here. That's why male suicide is fucking up through the roof. Because the modern world isn't designed for us. Okay? It's designed for women and kids. That's what it's designed for. The whole world is designed for them. Not designed for us. Right? Since the world wars, our place in this world has been gradually lost. We are here for combat. We are here to fight other people off. We're here to protect our people. And we are here to procreate as many times as we can. That's what we're here for. That's what our bodies are built for. Alright? Anyone saying to you it's not natural to go out and want multiple women, dude, they're fucking lying to you, because that's literally not how life works. Literally not how biology or life works. You examine the male biology from the fucking atoms upwards. They are built for two things. Well, three things. Combat, testosterone, and fucking. That's what we're built for. Combat, testosterone, and fucking. You know? If you don't have combat, you need to find it somewhere else. Find it in your job. You know, push yourself. That's what I mean. Combat doesn't mean going in and punching your colleague in the face. It means you want that promotion. You want that new job. You want those sales. You want those numbers on YouTube. You want. You push. You go to the gym. You rock it in the gym. You know? You only masturbate once a week as a treat to keep your testosterone levels up, to help you lose weight and build muscle. Before you go on a night out, you never touch yourself. You want to exude testosterone. You want to exude, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm here to fuck, I'm ready. Right? Don't put yourself in fucking box. You're here for combat. So go and do combat shit. Go and do man shit. You're here for combat, testosterone, and fucking. If you're not doing two of those three things on a weekly basis, you're literally setting yourself up for failure, and you're setting yourself up for an early end to your life eventually. By your own hand, or by addiction, or by consumption, or whatever, dude. You're setting yourself on that path. Do 2 of those 3 things every week. If you can't get laid, get your ass to the gym and fucking push yourself and work. Channel that energy into work, into bettering yourself. Right? Right. Cool. If your job isn't going very well, throw yourself into the gym and throw yourself into getting laid. Dude, I'm telling you now. I don't know of a guy who sleeps around who isn't happy. I don't. I know plenty of women who are damaged beyond repair by sleeping around. Because they think it's for them as well, and it's not. It's not. We're not equal. Sorry, we're not equal. In many ways. And this was one of them. We're not equal. Okay? You're not built for this. You have lots of other advantages in life. Lots of them. That we don't get as men. We fuck, you don't. That's just, you know, if we can handle fucking, you can't. That just is what it is. There is always exceptions, true. But look at the amount. Look at what porn stars do when they leave the industry, right? You have people, like male porn stars own their own businesses. They dress like to the fucking nines. They're high quality, high value men. They've done well with their money and ferreted it away. That they're doing really well for themselves by and large. Even on the podcast circuit, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just on the podcast circuit, doing shit like that, doing stand-up, doing other things, right? As porn stars. Because they're high value men. Men want to be them. And women, even though they say they don't, because these are handsome dudes. You know, look at Sterling Cooper, man. That's a handsome dude. Women want to be with him. Okay? What about female porn stars? Well, number one, they hardly ever leave it behind. Asa Akira's still doing shit. You know? Mia Khalifa's still doing shit. Lisa Ann's still doing shit. All these people who tell you porn is bad and tell you that they didn't want to do it and tell you that it damaged their lives, they're still fucking doing it on OnlyFans though, aren't they? Right? And they're all mentally damaged people who put out really, really weird tweets and that they just are nonsense. You know what I mean? And they're all these persecuted, damaged people who are always crying on TikTok and always crying on YouTube about how their lives aren't very good because they needed therapy and not porn. Well, I'm sorry, you made that decision, right? I think Asa Akira is the only one who hasn't done that. She's written books about it. Some of her books are brilliant, by the way. Like, really, really good. Good read to go through on, like, how it made her feel and how she's worked through it and how she gets through it these days. And she's an anomaly. And even she says, I'm an anomaly. I loved my time in the industry and I love my time after the industry and I'm married and I've got kids and all that. She's happy. That's the anomaly, though. Most of them are fucking wrecks. Wrecks. And there's a reason for that, guys. They're not meant to be passed around and used. It fucks the brain up. Alright. So, reading on. Dude, that was a hell of a tangent. I'm really sorry. I don't want to break her heart, and at this point, I don't even know how I'd get somebody else. I've let myself go physically, never had much to begin with, and live a pretty isolated life, which is partially why I wonder if I'm settling. Although writing it out, I realise that those you'll say those are obstacles I can get work past, which are fair enough. Yeah, they are. Get yourself to the gym. You know, get yourself to the gym, start working on yourself. I wonder if I'm supposed to feel that sort of story like love for somebody, where you look at them and you just know you love them type of thing. No. Or is real life not like that? It's not like that. At least not for guys. Here's the thing. True love at first sight does work for women. Alright? Ask any woman if you can love somebody or think you've got a connection with somebody just by looking at them. They'll say yes. And it'll be an honest, emotional connection that they're feeling. Ask a man if he can feel that kind of connection. He'll go yes. But it ain't in his brain. It's in his pants. Right? I could go deeper on the whole what is love thing, but I'll leave it there for now. Anyways, thanks North for reading this if you do. Love the channel. Can't wait to see where it goes. Okay. So, this is where we are, dude. This is where we are. As I just said, if you like this woman, if you like this girl, and you want to be with her, and the feeling of you breaking your heart makes you physically ill, don't do it. Right? Don't do it. What I would do, I would get yourself into a position where you're naturally getting attention from other women. Get yourself to the gym, get yourself looking good, smelling good, feeling good, dressed well, right? And go out. If you have friends, you will have friends, you're a decent bloke. Go out with your friends, go to bars, go to restaurants, go and do all these sociable things and see what happens. If you're getting looked at by other women, or even approached, or you want to talk to other women and get your skills out there and see what happens, if things start occurring, or you start feeling like, oh wow, I could actually do this, that's when you have a decision to make. That's when you have to go back and say, okay, dude, what do I do here? Like, what do I do here? And if the answer is, I don't want to do this because it'll make her unhappy, that's when the relationship should probably end, right? But if it's making you feel physically ill because you love this person, and you really like this person, that's when you need to work on it. That's what I would do. That's when you need to work on it. That's when you know this relationship just needs work. It just needs work. Okay? Don't be a bitch, though. If you want it from other women, tell her. Yeah? If you want it from other women, tell her and give her the option. Just give her the option. Stay or go. Just say, look, this is where I am. This is how I've lived my life before I met you. I'm feeling like I'm losing out on all these other experiences. This is where I am. I'm just feeling this way. I'm naturally built this way, dude. I'm built this way. I'm feeling this. It's making me miserable. And the gym is not curing it, you know? And I need to get out there. I need to get some strange. Give that to her and see what she does with it. If you can't get past it, at least give her the option. Don't just walk. Give her the option. You never know, dude. A girl like this who wants to please you, who literally thinks that you're really cool, right? Don't take advantage of her. If you get the sense that she's just saying it to please you and she's just saying it to keep you around, leave, right? But if you get the sense that she's saying it because she goes, okay, you know, that's, I see your logic there. Okay, you go do that. But then I can do what I want as well. You go, okay, cool, fine, no worries, and that's when you carry on, right? That's what I would do. Get yourself looking good, smelling good, feeling good. Get yourself out there. Don't go and try and pull other people, but put yourself out there and see what happens. If you're getting interest and you can't get it out your head, then you've got to go back and have a conversation, right? But you never know. You might go out, you might get a bit of interest, and that might do it for you. You might go, oh, I can do it. Okay, fine. And you're fine. And then you go home. It's fine. Okay? But whatever happens, be honest. Don't lie. Don't tell her shit that isn't true. Like, be honest. Okay? That's what I would do. Anyway, Random Bob says, ooh, having a drink of my tea. That was a long one. It wasn't a long story. It's more of a long, explanation. Hi North, call me anything you like. I have. Hello, Random Bob. This is the story of a once close friendship that fell apart over the course of 10 years. The reason I'm sharing it with you and getting your opinion is because you might have a better insight into what happened, and you might know if I can do anything now to help my friend. My question for you is, should I try and fix the friendship or just let sleeping dogs lie? In the end, around 15 years of friendship fell apart over one silly comment. I'm not comfortable with the way things ended, and if the worst happens, I feel pretty bad about it. Okay, alright. Alright. I am not a hobbyist, okay? In fact, I dislike hobbies like Warhammer. Well, fuck you too, my friend. My friend, the one the story's about, is a massive hobbyist. He likes Warhammer, Pokemon, Dungeons and Dragons, video games, fantasy books, the whole lot. My negative attitude towards hobbies is one of those reasons our friendship fell apart. Listen, before I even go any further, if you don't like any of his hobbies, why are you even emailing me? Why are you friends? You're not married. We literally just saw in the previous thing, Commodore is with somebody who's not into the same shit he is, but he has to be there because he loves her. Are you in love with your friend? You don't need to be around this friend if you're not into the same things he's into. Just leave. Anyway. To be honest, my friend reminds me of you. Oh, You lucky bugger. I'm just joking, I'm joking. I've listened to a lot of your content over the years because I like the way you tell stories. Cheers, man. And I often hear him in your attitudes, life experiences, and temperament. Okay. Back in the day, when we were at high school, my friend was a bit of a Chad. He had lots of friends. He had many girlfriends, and he was the kind of social butterfly character that would bring people together. He was the adventurous kid with a strong love of life, who would pick up the slightly weird or socially awkward types like me and get us meeting new people. Yay! I did that last bit, definitely. I did that last bit. In university as well. Not only was he social, he was athletic and clever. He was in the top sets at school. He would get good grades without working too hard. Meanwhile, I was in the bottom set. I heard you say once that no normal person should be in the bottom set, and I totally agree. Yeah, the bottom set of maths in the UK, dude, those kids are not normal. It was dismal. I felt like I was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something, trapped and surrounded by mildly menacing mentally disabled people, unable to convince the teachers that I belonged elsewhere with all my friends in the higher sets. I have no idea why they forced me to be there. I felt like I was being bullied by the teachers. Needless to say, I didn't like school, and frequently I would just skive off and stay at home, which probably wasn't helping me out of the bottom set. Well, no, it wasn't. Anyway, this all culminated for me in a bit of an existential crisis at the age of 17. I left my old school and joined a much better college. There, I became a real social recluse. After years of being told I was an idiot, I had a chip on my shoulder and a point to prove, and I was going to prove it by becoming as smart and academically successful as I could. I devoured books on science, philosophy, ancient history, literature, economics, really anything that made me smarter. I became a bit of a judgmental, hard-ass, pretentious type. In doing so, I lost touch with all of my old friends, and frankly, I didn't care. Yeah. Dude, this is reading as every pretentious twat you've ever read. This is their origin story. This is their origin story. Every pretentious twat with a set of glasses who drinks designer beer, right, with a scarf on even though it's summer, every one of those guys, this is their origin story. This is their villain origin story, okay? That is, I lost touch with all of my old friends, bar the one exception. He was always there. Every week we'd meet up and play music, me on guitar, him on drums. Those sessions were a social lifeline for me, and he knew it. Looking back, I think he gave me a great gift in being my friend during those years. I really didn't have anybody else. I appreciated him, and I'll always be grateful. Sometimes he would invite me to play board games or D&D with his other friends. I'd say, no way man, I'm not a fucking child, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. He'd say, whatever dude, your loss, and go off to play with his friends. Yeah, you know what he's doing? You know what he's doing, dude? He's playing with friends and he's banging hot hobby chicks. That's what he's doing. And you're there with your guitar. Down control to Major Tom. Right, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Right? Things I thought I'd never do online. Alright. I hated, and to be honest still hate, nerddom. Dude, this is a tough crowd for you, my friend. This is a tough crowd. Oh my god. There is a part of me that viscerally is disgusted at the sight of grown men with beards playing with children's toys. They terrify me. They remind me of this strong urge within myself to just give up, hide from the world, and fall back into childhood. I feel I could quite easily become a total loser if I gave in to that urge. Alright, here's the thing, dude. Most of the dudes I know who are successful in life, whether that be professionally, or with women, or financially, or just being a zen person. I've known dudes who have next to nothing, but they're totally zen. At peace with life. The dudes who are killing it in one or all of those ways, most of them were hobbyists. That should tell you something. You're the one on the outside pointing at them going, Ugh. You're the issue, dude. Not them. You're the issue. Alright? If you're pointing at somebody going, oh, what's that all about? It's like the... Oh, look. Okay. There is this story about... It's kind of an anecdote, kind of a joke, where a woman says to her husband, why do you smoke all the time? Why do you smoke? You know, if you didn't smoke so much every single week, I calculated it. You would save $50,000 a year. You would save like $4,000 a year, let's say. Because you spend all of that on cigarettes. You could get a brand new car with that. He just shrugs, toking a cigarette, and goes, okay, well, do you like to drink? He goes, yeah, I have a drink once or twice a week. He goes, well, where's your fucking yacht then? You know, that's exactly what I'm saying to you. You're looking at these dudes, and you're like, well, if you do all of those things, you're not going to get any women, or you're not going to get any good jobs. Most of them will be employed in good jobs, and will have wives, by the way. And they turn to you and say, well, you don't have a hobby. You don't like our hobby. Where's your model? Where's your supermodel girlfriend? Where's your nice car? Where's your well-paying job? We're not the problem, man. We found brothers to spend our time with. You know, you're the one on the outside pointing at us, going, ew, what's going on? But you're on your own. Where are your friends all pointing at us together? You should all get into a nice little group and point at us and laugh together. Oh, you don't have any, right? Cool, right? Cool. Well, here's all my friends, you know, and. You go for it, you know. I know your attitude has changed. I'm just saying, for those people who are watching this who might have the similar opinion, if you're the wife of a hobbyist or you're the best friend of a hobbyist and you don't get it, dude, you're the issue here. You're the issue. Anyway, despite my judgmental attitude, thanks to my friend's social butterfly tendencies, we did eventually rebuild a small, close-knit group of lads in my hometown. Anyway, my friend didn't study very hard at all after GCSEs. He got an unconditional offer from not a great university and decided to just go with the flow and do that course. I, on the other hand, went to a pretty good uni after a battle to get good grades. When I was at uni, I felt accepted. I met lots of arty people. I got on with them. I excelled academically. I was still awkward and very, very bad at getting on with girls. But with some Dutch courage, I made a lot of progress socially in a short amount of time. Weirdly, despite being shit at forming relationships, I made several genuine female friends, who I'm still friends with to this day. I guess I was just closed off from getting any real intimate relationship, so there was always a boundary. Yeah, you were in the friend zone before you even started, dude. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. You know, they'll be friends with you, they'd fuck the shit out of your friend. Right? They'll be friends with you and they'll fuck the shit out of your friend. Why? Because your friend doesn't apologise for the hobbies that he has. He's very confident in what he wants and who he is. And you weren't. And that's just, there we go. It was with this renewed swagger, I came back to my hometown and saw my friend. I noticed, literally the first time I came back, something about him was different. When drunk, and he would drink a lot, he would ramble. I mean, he would just talk nonsense for hours. He would talk to you and just not listen to a word you were saying. It was annoying, but I didn't think much of it. I assumed I was the one who had changed due to my new university experiences, and I was just noticing an aspect of his character that I hadn't before. In retrospect, sadly, this was the first sign that he was really struggling. I'm going to say something now. I honestly think that the roles were reversed. If your friend was okay and you were not, your friend would have picked up on that straight away. Because he's developed the social skills, you haven't. Right? He would have gone, something's not right here, right? And would have jumped in there. Anyway. I know now he had started to decline into an awful depression whilst away at university. He didn't enjoy his course. He handed most assignments in late and would get very low grades. We studied the same subject, and I distinctly remember him getting upset by the passion I showed for my studies, and him saying that he didn't have anything like the love that I had for it. Okay. I didn't understand. At the time, I thought he was just commenting on my genius. Who wouldn't? Jesus, dude. Jesus. You were a real piece of shit, and I hope you're not the same person now. But you were a real piece of shit. At this stage, he was getting into relationships, but they were progressively, as the years went on, getting worse and worse. Eventually, in his mid-20s, he had a long-term relationship that ended very badly. The woman took advantage of his kindness and willingness to look after her financially. He also started to put on increasing amounts of weight until he literally transformed into the meme of a neckbeard. Yeah. What your friend has done, because he has really shitty friends around him, and I mean that sincerely, what your friend has done here, he has done the reverse of what we tried to do on this channel. He's gone from being the self-actualized person with a lot of friends who brings up the bros around him, gets women, gets good jobs, gets good grades. He's gone from that to being a fucking neckbeard. He's digressed. Whereas our channel journey that we want people to go on is the other way around. They start off a neckbeard and they end up like this guy was at the start of this. Let's see if we can reverse engineer it, shall we, and see where it goes wrong. He got into the habit of travelling around the world and spent most of his 20s in various countries, either studying or teaching. His dream was to become a teacher, and teaching English abroad, he said, was a very good way to get experience. I found it strange that he would want to become a teacher, given he seemed to hate exams and essays. Well, dude, I'm sorry, but a lot of the best teachers you're ever going to have don't like education. That sounds weird, I know. But because we don't like it, we try and make it fun for the students. We try and teach the material on their terms, and our students get better grades. Right? I don't go into teaching ancient history by giving them quotes on fucking Cicero and Tacitus, because it's dry as fuck and not very interesting to somebody just getting into it. Do you know what I do? I show them Gladiator. I show them Troy. I show them shit like that. Right? I showed them HBO's Rome, which is great, by the way. HBO's Rome, it gets some things wrong, but fuck me, that is from an ancient historian perspective, that is a good show. Really good. Imagine Game of Thrones, but in Rome. And Caesar's in it. It's fantastic. Go and watch it. Polly Walker, by the way, chef's kiss. Mwah. She was the original MILF, Polly Walker. Oh my days. Don't know what she looks like now, but back then. Oh boy. But yeah, those make the best teachers, dude. They do. We would talk intermittently. He would moan to me about that all of his old friends never contacted him, including me. Many literally didn't recognise him anymore. So much had his appearance changed. It was a big thing when nobody texted him on his birthday. I would say, well, you did move halfway around the world. He didn't really accept this as a reason people may have forgotten him. Again, I couldn't really relate. I just didn't need people to like me or even acknowledge me in the same way. It didn't matter to me. Dude, this is going to sound really harsh. You're a fucking shit friend. Like, you were a fucking shitty friend. I very rarely say that to somebody on here. But that's shitty. You know, a guy calls you, and he's done all these things for you in the past, right? He's done all of these things for you in the past. And he reaches out hand and says, now I need help. Just once. I need a bit of kindness. Just once. That might turn my life around. And you pull your hand away like a fucking rat. Like a snake. And you leave him in the gutter. You're a shitty friend, mate. That's deplorable. That's fucking deplorable. What after what he did for you, by your own admission... No, that's not good. That's not good. So, let's carry on, shall we? We would talk... Oh, we've already done that bit. Already done that bit. Our conversations over the occasional online gaming night with our group of lads started to take on a sour tone. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would express my growing love for the German philosopher Nietzsche. Oh, for God's sake, here we go. Of course you're a Nietzsche fan, of course. I would sometimes share his ideas about the nature of power and how to pursue a flourishing life in a world of suffering. Suffering, I would say, slightly cheekily, was good because it makes you strong. He hated this idea. At first, yeah, mate, here's the thing. And this is why I don't get along with Nietzsche. This is why. I don't get along, that's my WhatsApp, not yours, by the way. Fucking, I swear to God, I tell people I'm recording, or I'm teaching, or I'm doing something, please don't message me, and they do it anyway. This is why I don't really get along with Nietzsche. It's very easy to say suffering makes you stronger when you're not really suffering. Ask somebody who's on the verge of taking their own life whether their suffering is making them stronger. There you go. I've just solved Nietzsche for you. It's bollocks. literally just solved it in one abstract thought. Ask somebody literally about to take their own lives if their suffering is making them stronger. Nietzsche doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, mate. And the people who subscribe to him and really go overboard with him are the self-absorbed, prattling, not, quite happy being alone. And even worse than that, you're like crabs. You're like crabs. Everybody's trying to climb out of the bucket, and you're a crab who likes to pull them out in the bucket back down with everybody else. How dare you succeed? Be miserable like the rest of us. No, go fuck yourself, mate. Anyway. At first, he engaged and tried to argue against me. He would say that you've just got to do what makes you feel good, like hobbies, and nothing else really matters. I'd say that was nihilistic. A good life requires struggle. The easy way becomes the hard way. The hard way becomes the easy way. He looked up what nihilism meant and agreed he was a bit of a nihilist. Okay, well, at least he's good enough to go along with somebody else's opinion. I don't quite agree. I don't think liking the things you like and taking solace in that every now and again is being a nihilist. I don't. I just don't. I don't subscribe to that at all. I think retreating into it constantly, makes you a troubled person. Don't think it makes you a nihilist, though. After that, he hated debating anything. Anytime the conversation in our friend group would turn to a debate, to debate big ideas or eventually any slightly controversial matter, he'd say, "Guys, just shut up, I just want to play the game and have fun." This in itself grated on me. It was so boring. In particular, he became increasingly annoyed at anything vaguely right-wing and would go into an aneurysm if right-wing figures were even mentioned. He was becoming increasingly left-wing and intolerant through some unknown influence. He started to police us, telling the lads that they couldn't, what they could or couldn't say. This did not go down well. It just made some of the lads push his buttons with more extreme and vulgar jokes. Well, that's lads, and he's wrong to do that. He's wrong to do that. Right? He's wrong to police people like that, and he's fallen in. The thing is, though, dude, again, this guy extended a hand to you and said he needed help. Right? You denied him that help. You ridiculed him. You took the piss out of him. And then he went and found help in the arms of an ideology that professes to help people but really harms them. Right? The ideology he's gone with is bullshit. I know. But you're not going to win me over by telling me, oh, well, now he's a lefty, so it's all alright. No, it's not. It's not. This guy was good to you. He extended a hand to you, needing help, and you spat on it and walked away. Alright. During this time, in my 20s, I began to succeed. Of course you did. I got multiple degrees, a very good job that I love, and became very wealthy. The final part of my life that was missing was women and relationships. I had always been terrible with women, but then, during lockdown, I discovered dating apps. I applied myself to understanding how to talk to girls and attract them, and eventually learned through lots of trial and error. I had many, literally thousands of matches. I'm starting to smell a rat here, my friend. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's not how dating apps work. I had many, literally thousands of matches. Started going on dates, then slowly started hooking up with girls. I chronicle my trials, heartbreaks and tribulations to the lads, all of whom found my adventures quite funny and kind of charming. They were all in committed relationships. I would watch them on from the sidelines, kind of cheering me on and giving me advice. My friend gave me some good advice, but he was mostly distant. By this stage, he was back in the UK and trying to become a teacher on a grueling teaching programme, and it did not go well. Over a beer before he enrolled on his teaching course, we had an argument over how to approach women. He said the best way to get a woman is to first become friends with her and then date her. Yeah, okay, yeah, I see why you argued with him. He's, you know. I said, respecting that he had been in many more relationships than me, but using my new experience of going on many dating sites, that no, the best way was to explicitly say, listen, I want to date you, and be as upfront as possible. Otherwise, I said, you open yourself up to being friend-zoned. That's also true. That is why dating apps are so amazing. They're not, dude. They're not. Okay, this is... Here's the thing. Here's what I'm getting from this. Here's what I'm pulling from this. You are an inherently selfish person. Okay, you're the kind of person who, if everybody's saying, listen, nobody's got any bread, this is terrible, like we don't have any bread, you go, well, I've got bread, so it's not a problem. Yeah, good, it's not a problem, I've got bread. Same thing with Games Workshop fanboys. You've heard me talk about them on the channel lots, I bet. You know? Well, I can afford the models. Get good, scrub. You're an inherently selfish person. From what I've read here. And you're not shy about blowing your own trumpet either. And the fact that you say dating apps are amazing, number one, I highly doubt that you had that many matches. Thousands is beyond even women. Women don't get thousands of matches, right? Let alone men. They just don't, right? So, please don't exaggerate. Number one. Number two. Just because you've had I've had moderate success on dating apps. They don't work. They're not amazing. They're terrible. They're terrible. They're a losing game for men, right? And I'm telling you now, you may have had some success, but if you carry on doing that shit, you will soon realise and go, oh my god, this is a shit show. I don't want to be around this. This is horrible. This is making me feel horrible. Just because it worked for you once doesn't mean everybody else is wrong. Doesn't mean your experiences are far more valuable than everybody else's. I'm going to be frank with you, mate. You seem very selfish and very up yourself from this email. Okay. This is why dating apps are so amazing. No, they're not. They remove the ambiguity. No, they don't. Which is frankly, was the bit I found most painful. He replied he didn't get any matches on dating apps. Yeah, he's been on them for years. I bet you he did. At the start. It dries up though, man. It dries up. Sure enough, a few months later, whilst he was away in another town doing this course, he made a move on a girl he thought he had some chemistry with, whilst in her bed, I might add, watching Netflix, only for him to be accused afterwards of impropriety. This involved a complaint to his school, which ended his dream of becoming a teacher. Again, I would say that's completely unfair. What's he doing in somebody... And you know what I mean? If I invite somebody into my bed, dude, you know, it's on, right? If a woman invites me into her bed, it's on. Like that's what's happening, and I will try it. And if she says no, I'll leave. But it's not. Oh God, you seem to be saying this as if he's done something wrong. Just because this problem clearly isn't affecting you because you're somewhat of a sociopath and you don't like other people. And you know, this reads like fucking the guy from American Psycho reading about somebody's actual experiences and going, well, you know, you clearly don't get it. You just don't get it. It is noteworthy that whilst all this was going on, our small group of friends had no idea. He had blocked us shortly after he left because one of us, not me, had decided to discuss an example of political correctness gone mad. Simply questioning if free speech had value over somebody's personal feelings was, to my friend, so appalling He cut off all contact with our friend group for several months. Okay. Well, you know, again, I can think two things at once. Right? He's wrong to do that. His opinions are wrong. I'm not defending him on those. His opinions are completely wrong and false. Okay? That doesn't mean you're not acting like a prick. Because you are. Alright? Cool. Once he returned, he thanked me for... Thanks to me reaching out. See, it's always thanks to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always thanks to you. Once he returned, thanks to me reaching out, it's always about you. This guy's in serious trouble. And yet, you're the hero. I just don't get it, man. Come on. Once he returned, thanks to me reaching out, and we learned all that happened with the girl, we leapt to his defence. But he said that, although he didn't do anything bad, the girl had every right to be upset and complain about him because he made her feel uncomfortable. Well, thank God you're being a friend. I've been struggling to see this all the way through. Please show me more of this. I don't know whether this is just the way you're writing because you're one of these get good scrub people who generally irritate me, but I just, yeah, you're finally being a friend. Too little too late though, I'm afraid, I think. That summer was my birthday. The lads all came round to my new house and had beers. We were frankly shocked to see him. He looked frail and red in the face. He carried himself with a sad, weak look about him. That night he got very drunk, as usual, and revealed to us the level of depression that he had been mounting over the past decade. It was as bad as it gets. He had almost done the worst multiple times, and described these thoughts in vivid detail. He had tried to get help, to all the help on offer, and everything he could get through the NHS. This was the first time he was confiding this to anybody outside of medical professionals. When I listened to him, I realised that I couldn't just do nothing with this information, or I would feel terrible if the worst happened. One of our friends walked him home and talked with him the whole night. Thank God you're being bros, finally. Finally, it's taken this guy... Here's why I'm so pissed off with you, right? This guy could have been gone by now. Do you know what I'm saying? This guy could have been gone by now. And it wouldn't have been your fault, but you would have not done anything to help him. At all. The next day, I discussed with that friend who walked him home what to do, and I suggested we contacted his mother, who he was living with at the time. This friend agreed. I knew this was a risky and possibly stupid move, but I also felt like I had to do something. I was not in his life enough to make a difference, and the tension between us had grown to such a level I knew he didn't really like me anymore. I wonder why, dude. Even by your own admission, and by the way, dude, like, this story you've written here is probably painting you in a more positive light than what you actually acted like. If you'd have done this with me when I was in that frame of mind, I'd have fucked you off a long time ago. A long time ago. His opinions on free speech and all that sort of stuff are wrong, don't get me wrong. But he's fallen in with that rhetoric because he's trying, he's begging to hold on to something. He wants to belong somewhere. And that's what a lot of people in these extreme groups do. Far left, far right, they want to belong somewhere. They're desperate for friends and companionship. They're damaged people. They need people like you to pull them out. And you've done a really shit poor job of that so far. Every time we talked, I could sense an undertone of resentment, which I really didn't understand. Again, dude, I hesitate to ask you how you're not understanding, but I'd rather he hate me and have people around him that knew about the situation and could take it seriously and help him. Maybe that was the wrong thought, but that's what I want. That's what I decided to do. I rummaged and found the number for his mother and simply texted her that I needed to talk to her about her son. She didn't text back. He did. He told me he understood what I was doing, but to fuck right off. He told me his mother had instantly gone to him and complained as to why his friends were contacting her. I was horrified. I didn't even consider that his mum could do this. It was so destructive. I understood it looked like I had betrayed his trust, which I had, but I genuinely felt like I had to act, and his mum had no idea. And I had no idea his mum would tell him that I had contacted her. Okay. But dude, if he's keeping his depression from his mother, right? This is a natural reaction from her. Not long after this, after lots more dating, I found a girl I truly liked. I stopped dating around and settled down. This was the first time in my life I felt truly fulfilled. I felt like I had conquered everything. Oh, listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. I felt like I had conquered everything that had been put in my way. I didn't see him over those months. Of course you didn't. But eventually, I heard he had got a new job in another part of the country, and we decided to all meet up for a final drink. Over drinks, he told us how he'd started to go to a new hobby group, and after one visit, he had met a girl. This girl, who was the only female in the hobby group, texted him after their game about how she was disappointed that he was moving and that she wouldn't see him anymore. I then made the comment that ended our friendship. I said, "Be careful, dude. Girls like attention." Yeah, you clearly can't read a room, my friend. You clearly can't read a room. This guy's been going through this shit and has crawled his way out of it. You've had win after win after win after win after win after win. And he's had to watch that from the sidelines. After being the guy who is fundamental in putting the building blocks in place for you getting that success in the first place. Right? He's had to watch you do all that as his life's fallen apart. And then when he finally gets a win, one win to himself, you tarnish it with a comment like that. His face went bright red. He asked me what I meant. I explained. I think girls like male attention. Sometimes they seek it out, even when they don't want a relationship, because it must feel good or something. I added that I had fallen for this before, and the only way around it is to be open and honest about your feelings as quickly as possible, to avoid some, not all, girls taking advantage of your desire for them. He was fuming. You, he pointed at me, yelling across the Weatherspoons, are a misogynist. Okay, yeah, he's falling back on his stupid rhetoric because he's honestly hurt that he's got a win finally, and you felt the need to fucking tarnish it with a little comment, with a little snide remark. Even if the snide remark has logic behind it, read the room, just nod and go, "Well done, man. What does she look like? Oh, good for you. Sounds like a really cool girl. Hope it works out." That's all you need to say. That's all you need to say. Everybody looked around in the pub. I started to laugh but tried to keep cool. "Nope," I said, simply explaining it was just something I had observed and experienced. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just how it is. Men do worse stuff. He didn't accept this and went on a tirade that included how his purpose on Earth was to protect the vulnerable, women, and minorities. Yeah, dude, this guy's broken. This guy's utterly broken. I'm not even judging this guy. This guy's just broken. This guy is absolutely shattered. This guy is a sad, sad, sad human being. He's shattered. He's done. He's done, dude. Right? And you haven't helped. You haven't helped. There are no heroes in this story. You haven't helped. Okay? I don't care what you say in your explanation of why you said, "Be careful, girls like attention." Right? I don't care what your justification was for that. There is some part of you that likes taking this guy down. Because when you were younger, he had all of the things that you wanted. And now you've worked to get those things while his life has fallen apart. And there's some part of you, I can tell by the way you've written this, there's some part of you that fucking loves it. You also need therapy, mate. There's some part of you that fucking loves this. Okay? That's how this reads. I'm telling you now, you know, if you know any of my content, you know I've read hundreds, maybe thousands of stories just like these. That's how this reads. This reads like, you know, you just couldn't resist. You couldn't resist bursting his bubble. You have 90,000 bubbles. Huge ones. He has one small one, and you couldn't resist popping it. You just couldn't resist. And because he can't deal with it, he can't deal with the world doing this to him, right? He's retreated into a bullshit lefty ideology. That's what he's done. That's where he's gone. Because you guys didn't go and get him. You know that phrase, a good soldier never leaves a man behind? You left the man behind. You're all back in the US banging nurses, and he's still in Nam. Right? I don't fault your logic. There is logic here to what you say, but the way you said it, dude, no. No. You literally couldn't resist bursting his bubble. And that's some nasty bullshit right there. I don't like that at all. Okay. I was totally confused. I felt like saying that women and minorities probably didn't need the protection of someone who couldn't get out of bed before midday, but I didn't. Oh, you're such a hero for not saying that. I decided he was just drunk. I calmly responded to him and humoured him. This went on for a few hours though, including as we walked back home. The next day when he was sober, I expected him to apologise, but he didn't. He doubled down. Dude, this guy hates you, and for good reason. For good reason. He has so many reasons to resent you that you've actually put in this story. But you've worded them like you're the victim here. A bunch of these times. He has loads of reasons to resent you. You know? I think you know it as well. He doubled down. He said he wasn't sure why we were friends, as we had simply nothing in common. At this point, I just had to agree. I got a little angry. I said I would always speak my mind, and I was a person who was interested in the world and ideas. That was me, and if he couldn't handle that, and instead wanted to find someone to just play Pokemon cards with, I'm sure he could find another friend. He said he found this tone condescending and arrogant. That's because it is condescending and arrogant. To me, though, I had the right to be respected and not yelled at in a spoons. I wasn't being arrogant. Yes, you were. But both of these things are true. Yeah, he shouldn't have yelled at you in a Weatherspoons. I agree. In a pub, I agree. But you're also being arrogant and condescending. You know what you're doing. You're reveling in his pain. You're reveling in his pain. I was sorry he felt that way about me. No, you're not. But I was going to be friends with somebody who viewed me in such a... I was never going to be friends with somebody who viewed me in such a negative light. I wished him luck in his new job, and that was that. This was one of several arguments he had with each friend in the small group of lads, alienating each one in turn. I haven't spoken to him since. It's been half a year now. I'm not sure I could have done anything else, but still, given the state he was in, I also wish I could have helped him. Maybe I still can. I feel like I have failed him. Alright, that's the end of the story. Dude, I've given you... I hope you've taken my comments here, and you've taken it to the slap in the face as it's meant to be. Right? You need to be woken up here. This guy needed your help years ago. And because he didn't get it, and he saw you being successful and not helping him out in the same way, this guy, you had nothing when you were younger, and this guy came back to get you. He came back to get you, and he made sure you had that support all throughout your younger years, that you glossed over, by the way, at the start of your thing. That's what stuck with me. This guy came back and got you, and helped you, and nurtured you, and made sure you weren't alone. He put the building blocks, the foundation blocks in place. You know the house that you've built now, that is your life? The foundation blocks that are underneath that, if there's 10 of them, at least 4 of them belong to him. At least 4 of them he put in there with his own hands and brick and mortar to help you out. And when his house started to crumble and your house started to get built, you looked over at his house and you looked away. You looked away. And I bet there was some part of you, in fact I know there was some part of you who revelled in it. That this guy who had everything so easy when you were growing up, that you didn't understand how he was getting things so easy, now his life was falling apart and yours was doing well. And you couldn't get enough of it. Like a glutton at his lunch, you couldn't get enough of it, right? I hope that analogy really hits home. I really do. You know, to cope with that, to cope with the way his life's gone, the way that it's just shattered into a million pieces, he's retreated into an ideology where he feels respected, right? But the thing is, it's a coping mechanism. The people on the left don't respect him. They don't like him. They don't respect or like each other. They don't. Right? It is an ideology of mostly heavily damaged people who want somewhere to belong. That's where he's gone. This is cult behaviour. He is the kind of guy cults would go for. That's why people say the wokest, the left, is a cult. That's the kind of people that they attract and that they target. Right? He extended a hand to you saying he needed help. Why don't you guys talk to me anymore? I need help here. I'm really struggling. And you fucked him off. And when the time came when you actually wanted to help, one, it was far too late. And two, you did it in the most boneheaded, stupid way you could do it. Going behind this guy's back to his mother. The most emasculating thing you can do to a guy. Go tell on him to his mother. Come on, dude. He didn't need that. Do you know what he needed? He needed you to go round to his house, say, listen, can I have a word? I want to take you for a pint. Come on, let's go for a pint. You take him for a pint and you lay it out for him. You say, you thank him for what he did when you were younger. And you say, you did this for me all the time. And now I'm doing it for you. I'm here for you. I don't care what you need me for. I don't care what it is. I'm here for you. I don't agree with your opinions on this stuff. That doesn't mean I don't like you. It doesn't mean I don't want to be around you. I want you to do well. I want you to be okay. Right? That's what you do. And then you leave him with that information, and he does with it what he will. If you respond to him in kind, I swear to you, he would have left the left behind a long time ago. He would have gone, do you know what? I don't need this anymore. It's a crutch I don't need. And he'll start to agree with you on your opinions. He'll start to take that red pill. He'll start to be like, hang on a minute, just a second, this isn't right. He'll drop what he's doing and he'll be your mate again. That's what you needed to do. I don't know what you do from here, because you fucked it, and you fucked it royally. Okay? He's not right to have the opinions that he has. His opinions are wrong. But he only has them because he was pushed over there. He was pushed over there, dude. That's why he retreated there. Because they told him what he wanted to hear. And maybe what he needed to hear. A bit of support. They gave him a bit of support. And because they gave him a little bit of support, he latched onto it. He was supposed to latch onto you guys. A good soldier never leaves a man behind, and you fucking left a man behind. The only thing I can suggest you do from here is you do exactly what I just said. You text him, say, I'd like to go for a pint. I'd like to explain a few things. I feel like I need to clear the air here. I think I've done you a disservice here. I need to clear the air. And if he wants to, do exactly what I just said. If he doesn't want to, leave it with him. Leave the door open. Say, the door's always open, mate. Just text me. Just text me. I'm here for you. That's all you can do. That's all you can do at this point. Alright? I really hope you work that out. And I really hope it goes well for you. But, you've also got some issues here, mate. You've got some real issues about arrogance. You're very intellectually very arrogant. You're very, I'm always right. I think you like an argument. And yeah, I think you're in need of help too, is what I'm saying. Empathy is what you need. I think it's there. I think it's there underneath. But you are in serious shit too, mate. You really are. I think there's a decent person underneath all that crustiness that you've got going on. There really is. But you need to seriously think about how friends act in situations like this. Because I know, even you writing this, you've put yourself in a good light, because you're naturally, that's what you do. And you still sound like a douche canoe. Right? You still sound awful. You still sound like the kind of guy I would look you up and down and walk away after meeting you. I'd be like, what a fucking douche. See you later. Right? I did this. I did that. I'm a success. You can tell you've got a huge chip on your shoulder, dude. You having to work for shit, and you having to really push where he got everything handed to him when you were younger, has put a massive chip on your shoulder. A massive chip on your shoulder. And you're reveling in the fact, to some degree, it will be in there. You're reveling in the fact that he's struggling and you're getting everything that you worked for. You shouldn't feel guilty for being a success. You worked hard, but you should feel guilty for being a snake. Because at certain parts of this story, you've acted like a snake. Even with you telling it in a way that makes you look good. Because we would all do that. If I sent in a story about myself, even subconsciously, I would be kind to myself. It just happens, dude. Right? So, less of the self-congratulation. You know, you've got my advice. You need help as well, dude. You know, talk to him, talk to a therapist, talk to whoever you need to. Because, like, there are certain parts of this that are, whoa, they are bad, right? A friend doesn't act in the way that you acted in the beginning here. You started to become a friend, but it's far too late, man. It's far too late. And even then, you couldn't help bursting his bubble. Because that resentment came up again. Like, you couldn't help it. Right? Anyway, it's nearly been 2 hours. Love you all a long time. I'm losing my voice. I will speak to you on Sunday for a big live stream. If you want to be involved, head on over there and become a member of the Patreon or become a member of the channel. You'll be involved in that prize draw. I will see you on Sunday when we're going to have a 2-3 hour stream, just chilling out, having fun. I may play some Battlefleet Gothic or something like that. Love you all a long time. Speak to you then. Have a good one. Bye.